G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. Today we're back at Phailproof Reef. This tank has really been coming along in leaps and bounds lately. We've got the aquascape in, we've got the Apex system mounted, ready to go. Everything is as it needs to be for us to do the most exciting part, fill the tank. So, welcome to Phailproof Reef. So let's start by having a look in the tank, then we'll look above the tank, and then the most exciting part, below the tank. And then we'll fill the tank. So first of all, in the tank, you can see we've got the aquascape in. Now the aquascape is made out of Carib Sea shapes, the Life Shapes rock, and we've got 3 boxes of rock in here, and it's epoxied together using the DD coralline coloured epoxy. We've got lots of caves. It's not a particularly tall structure, so there's lots of space for vertical space for corals to grow up towards the light. It's going to be really nice, particularly for the fish. This tank is going to be a bare bottom tank, and so we'll really be able to push the water around this structure. And as you can see, we've also got the wave makers in place. This tank has got 2 sets of the Gaia 350 twins. So we've got 4 pumps, and it's going to really have some great options with how we program the flow in this tank. So let's have a look above the tank. So above the tank we have this pelmet, and it's a pelmet because it's open top so that the heat from the lights can escape. Let's have a look underneath. So as you can see, this lifts up to easily feed the fish and access the tank, but this is the exciting part. We've got 4 Gen 5 XR30s. So these are a particularly nice light. We've got the diffuser plates on them. You can see that there's a rail and they're supported evenly across on the rail. It's a really nice lighting system. Behind the tank, the lights, you can also see this is our return line. So our return line comes up through the overflow, which we'll look at in a sec, and down to the far end of the tank. So that way we've got the maximum distance for our return water to the overflow. Let's have a look at the overflow and under the tank. So this area of the tank would normally be enclosed behind a cabinet door. The door is currently away being resized, so you can see into here at the moment. The overflow is a Calfo overflow. We've got 3 drainage lines, and we've got an emergency, Durso, and a primary line. The primary line has this beautiful gate valve, so we can really fine tune the overflow system. And as I mentioned before, the return line comes up through the Calfo overflow and down into the other end of the tank. So here we go, let's look under the tank. So here we go. Check out this filtration. So this is the left half of the cabinet, and the first thing that jumps out at you is this beautiful black and white Hamali sump, and it is a sensational looking piece of equipment. We'll have a better look at the whole thing in a sec, but just whilst we're here, just have a look at the equipment we've got. We've got the Octo Regal internal 250. It's a sensational protein skimmer. It only just fits in, but there is enough space to get the head off the top off quite comfortably. We've also got the plumbing coming into the sump, and you can see it's glued in place. There's barrel unions everywhere, so if any part does need to be removed, it'll be quite easy. We've also got Hamali dosing vessels. Now, I love this black and white colour coating. And interestingly, I don't think we've done a tank with black and white previously, which is a bit surprising almost, because it looks so good. So these are our dosing vessels. They're not hooked up at the moment, obviously, but I thought I'd pull them out just so we can see the first of the Apex equipment that we've got mounted. Most of it's down the other end. We'll look at that in a sec, but we've got the 2 doses on the back of the wall. Looks really good there. They're not hooked up yet, but it looks like a nice convenient place for them. So our Gaia controllers, we looked at the wave makers up the top. Our Gaia controllers are just here, and also we've got the ICV6 controller for it there. This is the controller for the skimmer, so everything is very easy to access. I'll put these back in and we'll have a look at the other side of the cabinet. Here we are on the second half of our filtration system. We've got our Hamali sump with our return pump section. The return pump is an Octo Varios 8, and we also have in here the chiller feed pump. Now that is an Octo Varios 4, and the chiller feed pumps up through a secondary hard plumb line, and it goes down to underneath the house. We'll have a look at that in a sec, and then comes back up into the sump. Interestingly, we have 2 resin reactors. So these will be really interesting to see when they're fully running. Quite an interesting system for getting the most out of your resin. We have our RO reservoir. That's for our automatic top up to feed RO water into the sump so that we can accommodate for the loss of water through evaporation. And all of our Apex and other controllers over here. We've got our return pump, a Varios 8 controller. Makes it very easy to turn it off and control it as required. Also the chiller feed pump is down here. So that's everything for the filtration. Now the exciting part of filling the tank. So we're downstairs, just as we said we would show you the chiller, and here we are. So it's not powered on yet. In fact, I don't think we've even got water pumping through it. No, we don't. So this would be something else we're going to have to leak test. But this is it. We've got our TK2000, our Tico chiller, sitting down here, and the plumbing for it is just here. So this is it. It comes down. We've got our valves and into the chiller section. Really neat. So here we are outside with our water tank on the back of our Colorado, and I've got all the hoses ready. They're all set up so that we can feed the water from our IBC into the tank. This water was collected this morning. It's natural seawater. We're very particular how we collect our natural seawater to fill up a reef tank, and that's something that we'll actually be bringing to you in a future episode at Gallery Aquatica TV, the whole process of collecting our natural seawater. So anyway, for now, I just have to open up the valve and go inside and turn on the power. It's so good to look into a freshly filled tank and see that there's no leaks around the cabinetry, around the plumbing or the tank. So this has been a complete success. It's exactly what we want to see. So I'll just close this up. We've powered the wave makers on, so the water flow is really churning. It's going to be really good to see this tank in action. And we'll take you each step of the way with Phailproof Reef and show you exactly how we go about setting this tank up with the fish and the corals. So that's our episode of Gallery Aquatica TV for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!
That's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you've subscribed to our channel so you don't miss an episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!